Wednesday was an extraordinary day in the history of Hong Kong. 53 pro-democracy activists and opposition leaders were arrested under China's national security law, an unprecedented crackdown as Beijing tries to throttle Hong Kong's remaining freedom. The raid took place in early hours of Wednesday. The operation involved nearly 1,000 police officers and dozens of arrests. So why were they arrested? Most of the detainees have been charged with subversion. Now, subversion is undermining the power of an established authority, which is Beijing in this case. The 53 pro-democracy leaders were arrested for their involvement in unofficial Democratic Party's primary elections, the primaries. The vote took place in late July after the Chinese Communist Party passed the national security law. Under this new law, anything that China broadly defines as secession, subversion, terrorism or collusion with international forces is punishable with up to lifetime in jail. The mass arrests send the clearest signal yet that Beijing is determined to stamp out any sign of political opposition in Hong Kong, and this after nearly a year of pro-democracy protests. The situation is alarming. But let's now go a little back in history to get a clear picture of what really led to this. In 1997, Britain handed over the territory of Hong Kong to China, but there was one clause under the agreement that Hong Kong will be governed by one country, two systems rule. What exactly does this mean? The one country part means that Hong Kong is officially a part of China, while the two systems part gives it a degree of autonomy, including rights like freedom of press that are absent in mainland China. China is supposed to abide by this arrangement until the year 2047. But for years, Beijing has been eroding those freedoms and trying to bring Hong Kong more tightly under its control. The national security law stands in clear violation of the one country, two systems clause. Wednesday's mass operation marked China's most brazen attempt yet, the silence to Hong Kong's pro-democracy movement. And that too with an iron fist. Dozens of opposition figures were put behind bars, even an American citizen. John Clancy, a solicitor with the law firm Ho Se Wai and Partners, was arrested on suspicion of subversion. Clancy works in a legal firm which is known for taking on human rights cases. Samuel Chu, director of a US-based Hong Kong Democracy Council, condemned the incident. Taking to Twitter, he said, and I quote, "The purge in Hong Kong continues in the largest single day of arrests yet since the implementation of the national security law. The CCP and Hong Kong authorities sought to root out the whole of the pro-democracy political establishment and movement." The arrests have been condemned by many global leaders and human rights groups as well, urging Beijing to release the activists and stop its crackdown on free speech under the ambit of its national security law. There was once a time last year when the world speculated on the death of North Korea's Supreme